I'm Scott Williford, CEO and founder of vLink Solutions. Before we get started with today's guest, I'd like to answer a question that I've gotten from several of our viewers. That is, why are we doing these webisodes and what is the goal? Well, that's really quite simple. As a serial entrepreneur, I have a strong network of great business advisors, and my goal is to give them an opportunity to share their story, but more importantly, to provide some valuable content to the executives and business owners that watch our show. We hope that this content will help you on your road to success. So with that, I'd like to introduce Howard Flint, Ghost Partner.
Yep.
Howard, why don't you tell us a little bit about your expertise and how it relates to content?
All right. Well, first of all, Scott, thanks for having me on the show. Ghost Partner, I started about 4 or 5 years ago when I saw a need for just content. I used to have an older publishing company that did more traditional print and postage, and I felt like everything was moving digital quickly, and I felt like if we could come up with compelling content but deliver it in a cost-effective manner, there would be a market for this.
Right.
And we were right. What we didn't know back then was that social media would come on so hot and heavy. And so now we've got a great product of delivering consistent and compelling content to clients that would like to do it themselves, they just can't get it done themselves.
So you mentioned before the show that you started out in print and publishing,
Right.
and that you've seen some pretty dramatic trend changes. So I think you said something like, if I had to do it over again, I'd
Yep.
do it differently. And so
Yeah.
kind of share a little bit about how that happened.
Right. Well, you know, as starting several companies, sometimes when you get done with one, you sell it or whatever you're going to do, and you ask yourself, boy, if I could do that again, what would I do differently? And that was one of the things, that if I could reduce our costs in printing and postage, which were quickly becoming obsolete, really, because
Right.
everything, especially today, almost everything we do is on some sort of device we're reading.
Right.
And so now the real value comes in just really good content, a newsletter, a blog, good tweets, whatever it is. Now it's all content, regardless of what device you're reading it on.
You know, you're absolutely right, and I think that most people today, aren't reading print, but you still do print when people need it, right?
Yep.
But for today's market and the interactive marketing media and social media, definitely electronic. So where is your company today? Who are your target clients today, and how are you expanding that?
Right. Well, the Ghost Partner really grew up on the vertical of accountants, and not just accountants, but accountants who specialize in QuickBooks.
Okay.
So, for example, we came up with a monthly QuickBooks article that you as an accountant would go take your name, put Scott Williford and Associates on it, and then you send it out to your clients. So now your clients get a great QuickBooks article every month that teaches them a little bit more about QuickBooks, but more importantly, or as importantly, reminds them that you're the QuickBooks expert in their life.
Gotcha.
So that's what we try to do with any kind of content, is whether they read it word for word every month, you're reminding them you're the expert in their life.
We've had some guests on here that have talked about SEO and that kind of thing, and it's about building authority.
Yep.
And it sounds like that you really do help your clients create that position of authority by providing them content that's specific to their industry and specific to their market. But you've expanded outside of QuickBooks, right?
Correct. So now what we can do is we've got a system, a model, where we really can get anything written. Again, the advances in technology have helped us, pull together hundreds of writers across all expertise, B2B, B2C. So when somebody comes to us and say, I have a cosmetic dentistry business,
right,
and I really want to cover these subjects, we can go get that done for a client, bring it back, make it sound like it's in their voice, and again, they're reminding their clients that they're the expert in this subject.
That's really interesting, because I think that's one of the challenges that people have is being consistent in that, and by outsourcing it to companies like yours or to your company, they're able to get that consistency,
right,
and continually creating quality content, which is the key, right?
Absolutely. That's the two of the things we push, is that you sound informed, so you're the expert, and you're consistent.
Right.
Because you don't have those two things, or you only have one of those things, you're going to fall off that peak of being the expert in something. It's important to think of your content as an asset.
Right.
Think of it as an asset just like you might buy 10 computers for a new company. That's an asset. Content is an asset because it sits on your website, it gets indexed by Google, and it's out there as a library you're building.
Right, right. Well, you know, we've got a lot of things we can talk about. So what I want to do is take a quick break. This will be the end of this segment. And tune back in for another segment with Howard Flint of Ghost Partner. And we'll learn more about some of the secrets of his trade. Thank you. I'm Scott Williford, and I look forward to hearing about your successes.